Let's get one thing out of the way. Kindness alone will not save you. I know. Your inner motivational poster just tore itself off the wall. But here's the truth you don't want to admit. You've done the right thing. You've been honest, noble, soft-spoken, generous. And what did it get you? Ignored, walked over, used like a free trial with no expiration date. You were sold a fantasy that being a good person is enough. That if you shine bright and love hard, the universe will send you back a fruit basket. But the world isn't run by karma, it's run by people. And people, well, they're messy little creatures, fickle, self-interested, occasionally charming but mostly driven by whatever benefits them the most. And this, dear viewer, is why Machiavelli still matters. He didn't write The Prince to teach us how to be villains. He wrote it to teach us how to survive the wolves without turning into lunch. Because virtue, without strategy, is just an open invitation to be trampled. And kindness, without boundaries, is just weakness wearing a smiley face sticker. So ask yourself, how many times have you been overlooked because you didn't want to make waves? How many times have you stayed silent to keep the peace, only to be rewarded with disrespect? How many people think you're nice, but not someone to take seriously? You see, this world doesn't reward goodness. It rewards those who know when to be good and when to play the game. Machiavelli's message isn't be evil, it's being dangerously wise. So if you're tired of being the good guy who always loses, if you're ready to stop surviving and start strategizing, hit that like button. Because today we're not here to feel better, we're here to see clearer. We're diving now into the lessons of Niccolo Machiavelli. Not to become cruel, but to learn how to protect our goodness with intelligence, power, and precision. Because in a world that rewards the cunning, kindness alone is not a strategy. Part 1. Stop thinking everyone plays fair. So here's the brutal truth you've been avoiding. The reason you keep getting used is because you keep expecting people to be like you. Honest, well-intentioned, principled. But most people, they're not playing chess, they're playing poker. And you're out here playing go fish with your cards facing the wrong way. You think you're being noble, they think you're being weak. And before you know it, you've been outplayed by someone who smiled, nodded, and took everything they could while you were too busy making sure you weren't being rude. Cue the Machiavelli. He knew the score. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But here's the part people always forget. It's not about becoming a tyrant. It's about understanding that love without respect is a liability. You've probably spent most of your life choosing to be loved, to be liked, accepted, safe. But what has that really brought you? Not power, not respect, just a front row seat to your own invisibility. Let's shift perspective. The issue isn't that you're good. It's that you don't know how to protect your goodness. And in a world that's constantly looking for easy prey, that makes you the perfect target. So now ask yourself, how many friends have drained you emotionally, only to vanish when you needed them? How many jobs took your loyalty and paid you with breadcrumbs? How many times have you given the best of yourself and received silence in return? You were never taught the second half of the equation, that goodness, without guardrails, is just a gift to those who take without giving. But it doesn't have to be this way. This is where we introduce the idea of intelligent kindness. Strategic, aware, sharp. It's not about becoming cruel. It's about becoming selective. Kindness should never be your weakness. It should be your weapon. Part 2. Power is a performance. Control the image. Control the game. Let's talk about appearances. It's not enough to be good. It's not enough to be smart. It's not even enough to be strong. You have to seem like all of those things, at the same time, and on command. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't follow the best. They follow the most convincing. Think of every manipulator, every loud idiot, every walking LinkedIn profile that somehow got ahead of you. You know the ones. Not the most skilled, not the most ethical, but gods, do they look the part? That's the Machiavellian lesson people choke on. Perception is power. It's not what you are, it's what they think you are. And what they think is what shapes reality. Your calmness, it only matters if people notice it. Your intelligence, useless if it's wrapped in nervous laughter and weak posture. Your value, only visible if you know how to project it like a spotlight, not hide it like a secret. And that's where so many good people lose the game. They assume truth will speak for itself, that competence will be recognized on merit, that people will just see them. But this isn't a fairy tale, it's a stage. And if you don't play your role well, someone else with half your talent will steal the spotlight. So, ask yourself, do you move through the world like someone who deserves respect? Do you speak like someone who knows they're worth listening to? Do you appear powerful? Or just hope someone notices that you're actually a nice person? Here's the Machiavellian flip. People aren't drawn to the good. They're drawn to authority. They trust confidence. They respect certainty, even if both are fabricated. And once again, you don't need to lie. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to stop apologizing for who you are. Part 3. Master of Secrets. Why power belongs to the silent. You talk too much. I know, rude way to start. But if no one's told you yet, consider this a gift. Because if you want power, not fake power, real, solid, steel in the bones authority, you need to understand this. Silence is not weakness. It's leverage. Machiavelli didn't advise endless honesty. He wasn't trying to win a morality contest. He understood that information is power, and power, once given away, rarely comes back. So every time you overshare, every time you explain yourself to people who haven't earned your trust, every time you try to be transparent with someone who's really just gathering intel, you're not being virtuous. You're being predictable. And predictable people are easy to control. A prince must learn to conceal his intentions, Machiavelli wrote. Not because lying is noble, but because truth in the wrong hands is a weapon aimed at your own head. Let that sink in. Have you ever told someone too much, only to have them use it against you later? Have you ever vented to someone, only to feel exposed and regretful hours later? Have you ever explained your decisions to people who weren't affected by them, just because you couldn't handle their silence? Congratulations, you just volunteered to be your own saboteur. Strategic people don't just control what they say, they control what others think they know. They let people fill in the blanks. They let curiosity build tension. They understand that mystery breeds respect, and certainty breeds entitlement. Here's what people don't realize. The most powerful people in any room aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who speak rarely, but every word lands like a knife in velvet. So the next time you feel the urge to explain, justify, or confess, ask yourself, what do I gain by saying this? If the answer is nothing, then congratulations. You've just passed your first Machiavellian test. Because silence isn't just the absence of speech, it's the presence of control. Part 4. Become unreadable. The power of unpredictability. Let me tell you something that'll make your stomach turn, just a little. If people always know what you're going to do next, they've already won. Predictability is not a personality trait. It's a vulnerability, gift-wrapped and labeled exploit me. And here's the kicker. Most people train others to predict them. They react the same way to every insult. They say yes to every demand. They avoid every confrontation like it's a burning building. You think you're being stable. They see someone they can walk all over. Machiavelli didn't admire consistency for the sake of it. He admired adaptability, the ability to shift, the capacity to surprise, to disrupt expectations. Because if they can't predict you, they can't control you. Simple as that. Think about it. If someone insults you and you smile calmly instead of lashing out, they hesitate next time. If someone expects you to stay silent and you suddenly speak with precision, they pay attention. If you pull away when they expect you to cling, or act when they expect retreat, you become dangerous. And dangerous people, quiet, strategic, unreadable people, are respected in a way that nice, consistent, available people never will be. Let that hurt a little, then let it fuel you. Because unpredictability doesn't mean chaos. It means controlled volatility. The art of keeping people slightly off balance, never quite sure what you're holding in your other hand. You want to stop being treated like an extra in someone else's life story. Start being unreadable. You want to stop being manipulated by charmers, bullies, and fake allies. Make your next move unpredictable. And when they finally realize they can't figure you out, they'll do the one thing they never did before. Respect you. Part 5. Distance creates value. Why you must become scarce. If you're always available, you're never valuable. Brutal? Yes. Untrue? Not even slightly. Because here's how humans work. We don't respect what we can access at any moment. We crave what feels rare. This is why the people who respond to every message instantly, who show up for everyone at all times, who give endlessly without question, slowly become invisible. And Machiavelli, he saw this play out not just in personal relationships, but in the affairs of state. A prince is despised when he becomes too familiar, he warned. Familiarity breeds contempt, not connection. Let that echo in your head next time you feel guilty for saying no. Now I get it. You think your constant presence proves loyalty. You think your accessibility shows integrity. It doesn't. It shows that you can be summoned, like a tool, like a service. And people don't respect tools, they use them. Ask yourself, how many times have you given everything only to be taken for granted? How many times has your generosity turned into expectation? How many times have people gotten comfortable draining you because they knew you wouldn't walk away? The answer isn't to become cold. It's to become selective. When you regulate your presence, when you become just a little hard to reach, something strange happens. People start wondering where you are. They notice when you speak. They actually listen. Your absence starts to feel like a presence, because now, when you show up, it means something. That's the art of power through distance. Don't be a flood. Be a storm, occasional, focused, unforgettable. You want to stop being overlooked, stop being everywhere. Part 6. Emotional control and strategic patience. Let's start with this. You're not losing because you're too soft. You're losing because you're too reactive. In a world full of emotional flinchers, people who snap, whine, cry, rage, and spiral the moment pressure hits, the rarest trait isn't talent, it's calm. A wise ruler, Machiavelli said, acts with cold calculation. Not because he's heartless, but because he understands the value of emotional discipline. You see, the one who can't control their emotions can't control anything. Because every time someone provokes you, every time you lash out, freeze up, or spiral, you hand them the remote control to your life. They push a button, you dance, like a puppet made of feelings and poor impulse control. But the real players, they move in silence. They observe instead of react. They hold their energy like a blade still in the sheath. And when they strike, it's deliberate, it's clean, it's unforgettable. This brings us to the final trait, strategic patience, which I know sounds boring. You wanted to hear dominate now. But that's exactly why most people fail. They act too soon, speak too fast, reveal too much, jump into battles they weren't ready for because they couldn't stand to wait. But power doesn't belong to the frantic. It belongs to those who know when to pause. A hunter doesn't chase the first sound in the bushes. They wait, measure, strike when it counts. That's how real influence works. So while everyone else is shouting into the void, demanding respect, demanding success, demanding recognition, you sit still, sharpening your strategy, watching the board, and when the moment comes, you make one move, and the whole table turns. Part 7. Become the anomaly. Transcend the system. You've made it this far. That already separates you from most people. Most people tap out at the first uncomfortable truth. Most people run back to comfort, to softness, to denial, but you didn't. You stayed. And that means you're ready for the final truth, the one almost no one applies. You don't win by fitting in. You don't rise by doing what the world expects. You dominate by becoming what the system can't predict, can't replicate, can't ignore. You must become the anomaly, not just strategic, not just stoic, but utterly unclassifiable. Because here's the secret they don't teach you in school or books, or even in most power circles. The real threat is the one they can't label. The person who can't be pinned down. The one who is not just kind, not just fierce, not just silent or loud, but a shifting, evolving force that never plays the same hand twice. You want power? Then stop acting like someone the world has already seen. Stop mimicking. Stop conforming. Stop checking boxes you didn't write. Be the glitch in the matrix. Be the presence in the room no one can quite explain, but everyone feels. When others move predictably, shift. When others play roles, dismantle them. When others try to define you, remain undefined. That's not chaos, that's mastery. So from this point forward, the question isn't, how do I succeed in the system? It's, how do I become so unignorable that the system has to shift around me? You want to be remembered? Then stop echoing what's been done. Build something no one saw coming. Be feared without cruelty. Be admired without need. Be silent without absence. Be kind without weakness. Become the anomaly, the outlier, the legend no one saw coming until it was too late. And if you ever doubt whether that's the right path, remember this. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. So one must be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves. Machiavelli. Be both. Be feared without cruelty. Be respected without begging. Be good, but never naive. Stay sharp. And next time someone underestimates you, smile. They have no idea who they're dealing with. If you've made it this far, if you felt something shift in how you think, then leave a comment with the phrase, "Power is in the silence." Let the others scroll past. This is for the ones who get it. And if you're one of them, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell, so you don't miss out every time we drop another carefully sharpened truth bomb. Because this isn't just about philosophy, it's about learning to move like someone who refuses to be ignored. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, don't play the game, write the rules.